folks, Michael McGee here. In today's video, we're going to be doing a subscriber request. And that is, we're going to take the bacons off this big boy. And we're going to try to make pancetta. Now, I've heard through the grapevine that a Mangalitsa pancetta wasn't so great. So I'm going to try it. Now, I know it's too thick to roll up. It's not going to roll. But I found a guy from Italian descent. And he said his parents did it the flat way. The old way. My way. So I'm going to try it. Let's get into it and see how it goes. All right, we've got him gutted, and I want you to look how thick the fat is on these rascals. We're talking about some serious belly on him. Now, when we take this off here in a minute, we're going to thin that down, get that leaf fat out of there, and which you'll see. But first, we're going to cut this dude in half and get him hanging in the cooler and let this firm up a little bit. But I'm not going to let it hang for a few days because it gets very difficult to remove. So I'm just going to take it off today after it chills a while. All right, these have been hanging in here for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. They're dried down some, but they are still very floppy. That's what I want because, as you see, when they're very hard, it's difficult to get them off. So, this right here is called leaf fat. This right here is called back fat. Take it all the way down. Keep going, come across. I'm going to cut loose this fat, peel it up. Get in here behind these ribs. This first rib right here, it is very greasy, unbelievable. Ooh, never done this one this fresh. This is insane. There's no way I could have held that with my hands. All right, we're going to take this and get it on a table where we can thin it out and get down to what we want to make the pancetta with. All right, here's our big old belly. It is just insane. I don't think I'm going to do it quite this floppy again. I think I may have learned my lesson. But here we are with a floppy bacon. So, first thing I got to do is sort of lay it out and get it in my mind where I want my pancetta to come from. I'm thinking that I will probably take it from here. So I'm gonna start cutting this leaf fat off. Oh my, what a bunch of fat. And this leaf fat is the very best lard fat you can possibly ask for. You can see it's already trying to render down, and it's just at room temperature. It's amazing. It's so soft that I can just pull it out by hand. Don't even have to cut it hardly. Look at that, just almost see-through. It's unbelievable. So I probably won't do it that floppy again. I'll probably let it harden and just do it the hard way and not have to deal with this, because this is almost worse. Now I'm just going to come down through here. Divide this up into two. There's no doubt I'm going to have to let this solidify before I can cure it. So I believe we're going to have to take this down to the cooler and probably stack it in this, let them get cold overnight or whatever, and then tomorrow we'll have to do the cure on it because it's just too floppy. In my opinion, I can't hardly do anything with it. Once it solidifies and firms up, it'll be a lot easier than having to cut it off the pig cold. But I don't know that we really saved ourselves a whole lot of effort on that. It's just the way it goes. Live and learn. That is jiggly as Santa Claus's belly right there. Like a bowl full of jelly, ain't that something? So, you will see the difference in the next scene. All right, this is the next day. The bacon is still a little bit soft, but it's not like it was yesterday, just jiggling around here. So we're pretty happy about that. I'll turn it over. You can see it's got plenty of meat, plenty of fat. So I'm going to be using 2 different channels recipes. I'm going to be using the equilibrium method that I learned from 2 Guys in the Cooler with the salt. And then since this pancetta is going to be flat, what did that guy say? He called it meta or feta or whatever. Here he is saying it. I'm just going to let him say it for you because he's the real Italian.
Today I'm going to teach you how to make pancetta, and this is going to be the tessa, which means flat. So this pancetta is going to end up being just flat like this, dried, cured.
I don't know his name. His channel is called That's Aroma. Arusta by Mangalitsa or something. I mean, he's a true Italian. The equilibrium method is from 2 Guys in the Cooler, and so we weighed this. Mr. Eric said if you don't want to use nitrates or nitrites, that you have to go 3% with your salt. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be equilibrium. That means it's all going to be absorbed in the meat. We're not going to be washing any off until at the very end, and it's all going to be used. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to put our salt on here, 3% now. We're going to rub it in, and we're going to coat all edges, all sides of this fat and meat. And then we're going to take our black pepper. Black pepper is a big part of this because when we dry this, it's actually going to be hanging in the smokehouse. So we don't want buggy boos wanting to chew on it. And black pepper is a deterrent for flies. Keeps the bugs off. For color, according to Mr. Manger, you've got to have the right color for pancetta. We're going to use paprika. And we're going to put it on like this. And then we're just going to rub it in. And look at that color. The color shines through beautifully. What do you think about that, Grace? Is that pretty or what?
It is.
I can't wait to taste it.
You know it's going to be good, Grace.
No, I actually don't.
And here's the here's the part you're going to love, Grace.
Red pepper flakes?
Yes. If I can get it open, my wife must have tightened it. Red pepper flakes. Just going to go on like this. I'm going to rub them on. Ooh, does that ever smell good? Now, yeah, I'll let you smell it. You don't have to, but you can if you want to.
That smells good.
Yeah, it does. Now, we're going to do this to the other side. We're going to put it in a vacuum seal bag, vacuum it down. We're going to make sure all the salt goes in, and we're going to coat the other side just like this. And we're going to leave it 3 days in the cooler to absorb all that in, and then we'll move on to the next step. folks, we got the pancetta out of my neighbor's cooler. We pressed it. I mean, pressed that weight of that fat. That was probably 15 pounds of fat, and pressed it. And look how flat it is. Just absolutely gorgeous. So, it cured in that for 3 days. Now we're going to take it out. What I'm going to do now is going to be highly interesting to some of you, because we did not use curing salt. We used 3% regular salt. And although it was pink, it was not cure number 1 or cure number 2 or whatever. No, it was pink Himalayan salt. And it ain't because we found Himalayan in the ditch. Ain't that right, Frank?
That's right.
Now, we're going to take our pancetta. We're going to give it a little sniff. Oh, does it ever smell good? Now I'm going to take a hold of it and put it in this pan. And I'm going to get rid of this. And then we're going to do something that you might like, you might hate. But one thing for sure, you can't change. All right, most people say rinse this all off with water, pat it dry, and then do a wine bath to keep it from molding while it's drying for 2 weeks. I'm not going to rinse it with water. I'm not going to do that. I just don't feel right. I've got some old wine here, homemade. My mother-in-law made this, and it's just beyond anything I can drink. So I am going to use it for this purpose right here. Wine is not going to allow this to mold, and I'm just going to do whatever rinsing is done, not with water. Not with water. We're going to rinse it in this wine right here. Just like this. I wouldn't want to use a high dollar expensive wine for this process, but this right here is perfect. And look, it is rinsing off excess. That's what you don't want, is excess stuff on it. Look how that curing stage has already firmed this meat up so much. You can see there's still a few pepper flakes on there, still paprika on there. But that wine is completely saturating it. We're going to take this and hang it up and let it drip dry, and it's going to actually dry for 2 solid weeks. All right, it's been exactly 2 weeks to the day. So it lost well over 1.5 pounds. Of course it's cold this morning, but a lot of that weight loss in moisture has caused it to really firm up. So I'm very excited about that. We're going to get it out and do some slicing right quick and see what we got. Now I've discovered by looking up how to eat it, there's a little bit of controversy whether you should eat it cooked or raw. Naturally, because there's always controversy around these things. So you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to do both. And we'll let the boys and Frank say which one is better. everybody's done.
Oh,
Where's them boys? Here they come. Come on, boys. Don't hit your head this time.
I'm not gonna hit
This time you might cut it. I mean, you might hurt my smokehouse.
Oh, I might. Oh, that's all it-
Tear my whole thing down with your head. All right. When I was looking this up online, some people said only eat it cooked. Some people say no, you can eat it if you cure it. You can eat it raw. This is an Italian meat, cured in the Italian way. I used the man's recipe from the real Italian man, and they eat it like this. So, what I want to do is eat it like an Italian, eat it like an American, and see which one we like the best. Now, I'm going to let Frank decide which one we go first. Which one you can go first, Frank? Don't look. Think inside yourself.
Okay,
Huh.
I'm gonna go down.
All right, Mr. Frank, let it melt in your mouth, son. Matt, I tried to slice them thin, just like they do in the day. All right. This is a little bit like sala, except sala has no meat and is not cured. And it may be cured sometimes, I don't know, but sala is just fat. So this is basically a fancy bacon, cured and seasoned. And can you taste anything else?
Oh, like no, we good.
We bathed it in wine.
No, but I can't taste wine, but I can taste that. Can y'all?
No, that melts in your mouth.
That's good.
That will melt in your mouth. Can you taste any pepper?
Yep.
Now that right there's good.
It is
Of course,
good.
Mangalitsa fat's good for you, so you don't have to feel bad about that. If there's anything that'll make Mangalitsa fat bad for you, it'll be cooking it. That's the only thing that can make it bad for you. But anyway, we're gonna try this now and see how we like this. He's picking through it. He guzzled it down like a big frog eating a fly.
No, I didn't got it down.
Nice and warm. Nice and warm.
I should go first.
Say what? You choking?
Mm-mm.
You need the Heimlich maneuver?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Huh. It ain't
I'm
bad.
enjoying it. I'm enjoying
It ain't bad. Different from this, quite a bit. Chewier. The piece I got has great flavor. Anybody want to say anything?
It's a lot more bacon.
A lot more bacony.
Yep.
A lot more bacony.
A lot more sauce.
Sauce. Like, it's rendered some of that out, and so when
Yeah.
you chew it, you get more grease all over your tongue.
No,
that what you're
no,
saying?
The pepper.
Pepper.
Yeah.
More pepper. Well, what I said's true too. It's got grease. Let's try one more of these so we can better tell the difference. Oh, he went thin as thin can be. He's got high class taste. It's less salty tasting, ain't it? A lot less salty. A lot more buttery. Just buttery.
A lot more fat.
You don't lose any in the skillet this way, see? Don't lose none in the skillet, and it's
No.
better for you. Mangalitsa fat is supposed to fight heart disease. If it fights heart disease, how can it be bad for you?
That's right.
That's right. So anyway, there we have it. I haven't got your opinion yet. Which one do you like best and why? He's still chewing. You need to spit it out, or you need it to come back to you later? Later. All right. Joe, which one's your favorite and why? Go either way. You ain't gonna break my heart, is he? I don't hardly have a heart. Frank says I don't have a heart.
Probably the cooked one, just because I'm used to it.
Yep,
And
yep,
It has that good bacon flavor.
yep. Is that where you're going with it, David?
I think so.
Is that where you're going with it, man? Is that where you're going with it, Matt?
Yeah, that's where I'm going with Matt. That's where I'm going with Matt.
Caleb's going with that too? Now, which one do you have to chew the most? Which one is chewier to you? This one? Huh, that's interesting because this really melted in my mouth. I guess you should have got that little thin piece. The thinner you slice it, the better.
That one's really good too.
It is good, yeah. But
They both are spicy, right? They both spicy. But
the both is good, but this cook one.
you cook one, you like that better.
Well, it brings out
More flavor. Okay. Well, I'll say one thing for sure. The second time around, whenever we came from this to that definitely didn't have intense flavor on the front end. Just more of just like putting butter in your mouth, basically, and it just slowly the flavors build up. Whereas this hits you all at once.
Yeah.
Boom. The flavors are there developed. So there you go. Henry Miller wanted me to make this video, and he tried to make some, said it wasn't good. What do y'all think? Is it good or bad?
Yeah, it's good.
It is
So
good.
amazingly good, right? So Henry Miller, try this recipe. Do it kind of like I did. I know nobody can do it just like me, you know. That'd be trying to follow Frank's footsteps. But hey, if you could do this, cut that part of the belly off and trim a lot of that fat off and get it down like this where you got, well, it's not 3 inches thick. That's basically the thing. You want to have it about 1 inch, inch and a half. And the 3% salt method was perfect, okay? Ain't that right? We did, this is the first time that I've ever done the equilibrium cure where we put exactly the salt on it we needed. Don't hit your head. Don't hit your head. So anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. I am very thankful that Henry Miller suggested I make this because, my goodness, that's delicious.
It is.
But that's all we've got for you today. We hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.